Mr Chair, once per year I have the very good fortune to attend a memorial function in Hawke's Bay for the 1931 Hawke's Bay earthquake. And that earthquake in 1931, some 79 years ago. And at that function we get people at the last one who range between the age of 79 years and 102, if I recall correctly, who recount stories of that 1931 earthquake, which are remarkably similar to some of the stories that we're hearing today coming from the earthquake. But 79 years ago, Mr Chair, that Hawke's Bay earthquake, at 10:47 on a Tuesday, February the 3rd, that earthquake killed 256 people and absolutely devastated the Hawke's Bay region. That earthquake, Mr Chair, was a 7.8 on the Richter scale, and I guess in modern times, probably the strongest earthquake that we've seen. And like what we're seeing today down in the Canterbury region, in Hawke's Bay there were 525 aftershocks there. The interesting thing about the Hawke's Bay earthquake, Mr Chair, was that all the buildings in the central areas of Napier and Hastings were levelled, and in fact the Dominion of the day said that as a town, Napier had been wiped off the map, totally wiped off the map. The death toll included 161 people in Napier, 93 in Hastings and 2 in Warrell. Of course, thousands more were injured, with 400 seriously injured and ending up in hospital at the time. The fascinating thing about that particular quake was that some 40 square kilometres of the seabed became dry land. And now when you fly into Napier over the areas of Piramai and Mariwa, into where the airport is, that is all land that came up as a result of that earthquake. I think the thing that happened in Napier at the time was that the earthquake was followed by fire, and it was actually while the earthquake did damage many buildings in the township, it was the ensuing fire that actually caught a lot more buildings, and so what we saw was the entire townscape pretty much devastated. The point I wanted to make about this legislation that is here tonight in comparison to what we saw in Napier in 31 is that the recovery effort is in a totally different space. And what we're seeing with the recovery of services and with people getting on with their lives, it is far more quicker, far more responsive, and I think we're going to see people getting on with their lives in a far quicker way, which I think is absolutely excellent. Where we saw rebuilding in the province of Hawke's Bay taking not just years but decades, we're going to see Canterbury getting back on its feet extremely quickly. And so I'm proud to be standing here tonight, Mr Chair, supporting this piece of legislation, this enabling legislation, and helping Canterbury to get back on its feet as quick as possible. Thank you, Mr Chair.